In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you what sold for me over the last 2 weeks as a part-time reseller. But here are the bullet points, just some of the big picture things that you need to know in regards to what went down these past 2 weeks. Okay, so first and foremost, Poshmark is going through an identity crisis. Like, there's no other way to put it than that. Like, Poshmark is out here trying to figure itself out. It is just going through some growing pains, and in the process, people like myself who, found Poshmark to be pretty consistent. We thought we had it figured out. We thought we knew what we had to do to make sales over there pretty consistently. Everything is different. I feel like all of the rules have changed, and Poshmark is literally rewriting the rules as we speak. And so while it is completely within their right to do that because they are their own company, they can do what they want. I know a lot of you aren't happy with it. I personally am not super happy with it. But second bullet point, we're going to be talking today also about a new platform that I'm trying out, and one that I have found some success with. Now, how sustainable it is, I don't know. We'll get into that as we talk about, what sold for me. But let me just say, third bullet point, I am so thankful for platforms other than Poshmark. Let's get into what sold.
Won't nobody love you the way they should. Won't nobody check up on you, make sure you're good. Won't nobody check those body tremors for your neck.
Hi everyone, my name is Becky Park, and like I mentioned earlier, I am a part-time reseller, which means that I have a full-time job, and when I'm not doing the music teaching thing, I am selling clothes online on a bunch of different reselling platforms. And if that sounds like something you're interested in learning about how I do it, my different tips and tricks that I've learned along the way, seeing what I pick up and what sells for me, definitely make sure that you hit that subscribe button. But today we're going to be talking about my sales for the last 2 weeks. We're going to be talking about sales from March 7th all the way through March 20th because I am not good at staying on top of all of the things and uploading videos once a week like I used to in regards to what sold. And what you're going to notice is while Poshmark was doing okay, I feel like Poshmark sales went from like taking a nosedive in January and February to like kind of coming back to life, only to go ahead and die again, like in the second week that we're going to talk about here. So I don't know what to tell you. Let me know in the comments below how Poshmark is doing for you. I know when I first talked about how I was seeing a lot of changes in Poshmark, especially when they went and changed their algorithm, some of you were like, my sales have never been better. And if that's the case, awesome. I'd love to hear that. Maybe I am just doing something wrong. And if sales are awesome for you on Poshmark, I'd love to hear what it is that you're doing. I feel like on my end, I've been pretty consistent with listing, sharing, all those things, and it just hasn't been helping. So if you are in that boat, I'm in that boat with you. I am sinking on that boat alongside you, so I know how you feel. But let's go ahead and talk about my sales. So we're going to start by talking about Monday, which is March 7th. I did have one Poshmark sale on this day, and it was this vintage Nike Golf green Opryland, don't know. Is it in Tennessee? I think it's in Tennessee. But Opryland, Nashville is Tennessee, right? Pullover jacket in a men's size large. This I got at the bins. That's a lie. This I got from a local reseller when I bought out her inventory because she no longer, wants to resell. And so I had $1.02 into this. I had it listed for like $35. Got a really lowball offer of like, I don't know, let's say 15 or something. But we finally settled on $25 as the final price. And because it was closet clear out, I went ahead and dropped the price from $35 to $25 so that he could also get discounted shipping. And when all was said and done, I made a profit of $18.98 on that item. I thought it was pretty cool, and it got like a decent amount of attention on a bunch of different platforms, but ultimately it did sell on Poshmark. The next thing to sell was over on Mercari, and it was this H&M floral ruffle shoulder popover blouse in a size 8. I actually thought this was beautiful, and if it were in my size, I would have kept it in a heartbeat, but it was a little too big for me. I got it from the same inventory buyout, so I only had $1.02 into it. It sold for $17, and after Mercari's fees and my cost of goods, I made a profit of $13.49 on that H&M piece. So, while I probably wouldn't have picked this up myself if I were at the thrift store, I'm glad that it happened to be in this lot and that I listed it and was able to make decent money for an H&M item. It just goes to show that sometimes style can trump brand. This I thought was really just beautiful. The next item to sell was this pair of Eddie Bauer beige pleated golf shorts in a men's size 42. Everything that sold this day came from that inventory buyout. So again, $1.02 into these. They sold for $13 on Mercari, so I made a profit of $10 when all was said and done. If you've been watching my channel for the last month or so, you know that I have been harping on you to get your golf stuff listed. If you have any golf clothes, get it listed now because that stuff is selling like hotcakes. The next day that we'll talk about is March 8th, which was a Tuesday. I only had one sale and it was over on Poshmark. It was this pair of Anthropologie Pilcrow and the letterpress Stet Coral skinny jeans in a size 25. I've had these forever. I don't even remember where I got them, but somehow I have record that I paid $5.99 for them, and I sold them for $28, so that gave me a profit of $16.39. While Pilcrow and the letterpress is a pretty good Anthropologie brand, it does not command the same prices that it used to a year or two ago. And these are, color denim. Color denim just hasn't been very popular for about a year or two. And so, I've just been sitting on these for a very long time. To be quite honest, I feel like getting $28 for those, or like being able to sell those for $28, that was pretty great given the fact that this kind of denim just isn't doing so hot lately. On Wednesday, which was March 9th, I had a Poshmark sale, and it was this pair of Torrid skinny jeans in a size 18. These I sold for $29. That was with discounted shipping, so that was a Posher VA sale, which just means that my Chrome extension, Posher VA, sent out offers to likers like 4 or 5 minutes after they liked it, and someone accepted. So I have Posher VA to thank for that sale. I didn't have to sit there and stalk people who liked items. They did that for me and sent out the offer in a timely manner. I had $7.07 into those jeans because I picked them up, I want to say, at a Plato's Closet. And so I made a profit of $14.41 on those. I know a lot of people swear by Torrid jeans, and this I think was a pretty good sale, $29 on a pair of Torrid jeans. Awesome. I feel like I sit on them a lot longer than I would like to, though. Like, they take close to half a year to sell for me. Not really about that life, so I don't know, maybe I need to try pricing them not so high, but I'm also not getting them for that cheap. I don't know. I'm still experimenting. But if you would like to try Posher VA, if you don't want to babysit your Poshmark closet and send out offers and, share your closet and do all that kind of stuff, then I have a coupon code down below that you can try out. It is Becky Park for you to save 20% off of your first payment on Posher VA. It's just been really great for me to, be able to automate my Poshmark closet a little bit. So if you're about that life, if you're about that automating life, definitely try it out. And then over on Mercari, I sold another Torrid item. I guess it was the day of Torrid. And it was this black Ponte sheath sleeveless dress, a V-neck dress in a size 26. This sold for $23. I got it for $5.14 at a Goodwill near my in-laws, and so I made a profit of $14.59. And that sold pretty quick. I feel like I could have maybe held out for a higher offer, but honestly, I was happy for the quick flip. Mercari's fees are pretty low, so I was fine with that. Somehow these did not get put in my notes for my what sold video this week, so I'll just talk about it really quickly here. These were a pair of bass, I'm not sure how you say it, red slip-on leather sandals. They had a little bit of a wedge or block heel, and these were in a size 6. These I actually just got for free from my mother-in-law. She gave them to me, and so I was able to sell them for $15.99. Once you factor in shipping and my fees, that total drops to $13.04 of pure profit because, like I said, my mother-in-law gave them to me for free. Gotta love it. I did have one direct sale to a viewer this week. This went out to Esmeralda. Esmeralda, you are amazing for making this purchase. Thank you so much. It was this pair of sundry, still don't know how to say it. They were these camo pants, and they were in a pretty recent haul, and I was talking about how the sun-dry camo stuff just does so well for me, and so Esmeralda reached out and was like, I really want those. How much do you want for them? So we settled on $45 shipped. It cost $6.11 to ship out to her. I had $3.92 into them because they came in a wholesale purchase that I did from a reseller friend of mine. So I ended up making a profit of $34.97. Esmeralda, thank you so much. I appreciate you so much for your purchase. And if you guys want to check out those haul videos, I had about 4 unboxing videos from that wholesale palette. I will have them linked down below. And the last video was the last of the 4. So if you want to see what kind of stuff I got, definitely check out those videos. Moving on to Thursday, which was March 10th. This was a really good sales day for me. And part of it is because on Poshmark, I believe I went through and sent out like 20 or 30% off offers on a bunch of stuff using the bulk offers to likers feature on Poshmark. On eBay, I think I was running a little baby sale. I don't know. It was just good sales day. So on Poshmark, the first thing that sold as a result of my sale was this BKE standard fit purple plaid button-up shirt for men in a size large. This sold for $18. Again, I had $1.02 into it because it came from that local inventory buyout. There were a lot of buckle pieces in that inventory buyout. And Buckle is a brand that I personally tend to pass on because it's just not my jam, but it has been selling really well. Like the buckle pieces, brands like, what's the one that, Affliction has been doing well. Like the buckle jeans, there's been like BKE and I think there's some more that I'm going to talk about here soon too. But the ones with like the very embellished back pockets, the buckle stuff has been doing well. It kind of makes me think that I have to stop turning my nose up at it. And especially if I find it at like the bins or something, maybe it's something that I can just think a little bit more carefully about in terms of picking it up. But this shirt sold for $18. That was with discounted shipping of $1.72. So I made a profit of $11.66, which isn't much, but this sold pretty fast, like within a few weeks of being listed. My camera just ran out of memory, so if every single thing looks different, that's why. But the next item that I was going to talk about was this new with tags Torrid ruched Swiss dot mesh sleeve tulip dress in a size 28. A lot of Torrid actually sold this week, and maybe even in the week that we're going to talk about next. But this was another item that I got from that inventory buyout. She was a good picker. She found really good things that would sell pretty quickly. So $1.02 into the item. It sold for $22 with discounted ship of $1.72. So I made a profit of $14.86 on that. And again, that was, not something that was listed for a very long time. The next item that sold was this Massimo Supply Co. floral sleeveless dress in a size extra small. Massimo is a brand that used to be sold at Target. I don't know that it still is. I don't feel like I've seen it the last few times that I've looked at the Target clothes section, but this was something that a friend of mine from church gave to me for free. I actually wore it in a video because I thought maybe I would wear it more. I thought I would wear dresses and like care about my appearance, but I was like, nope, I'm just never going to wear this again. So I listed it. It sold for $9 with discounted ship. So I made a profit of $4.33. The next item to sell was this Zara Mini Liveliness Canvas Tote Crossbody Bag. This I got from a friend at church as well, a different friend, and we kind of worked out because she had some really nice stuff, like some more like higher end brands and some really good stuff. And so we decided that we would do a 50% commission. So whatever profit I earned on the items of hers that I sold, I would give her 50%. And so this sold for $35 and I was left with a profit of $28. So I owe her $14. So my profit on that is $14. This is probably like the lowest value item that she gave me. I mean, she gave me like Red Valentino and Marc Jacobs and like some really good stuff, like not a lot of Zara, but there were some Zara pieces too. The next item was this pair of new with tags Worth gray softball pants. They were like the capri, softball pants in a size large. These sold for $13 and so I made a profit of $8.33. These I actually got as part of a big bulk buy that I did at a local consignment store. So my cost of goods for that trip that has happened more than it's like almost been 2 years at this point. My cost of goods per item was 80 cents. So I don't think I subtracted my cost of goods from this total, so it was $8.33 minus 80 cents. So that's how much I earned from that sale. On eBay, I had a few sales, the first one being this vintage Ralph Lauren wool Angora and rabbit hair and cashmere blend button-up cardigan in a size large. This was really nice. It was, like I said, vintage, but when I was looking at the tag, I noticed that it was talking about like a collar. And then even when I looked at the inside of the cardigan itself, I noticed that there were all these little buttons and I realized that there was supposed to be like a fur collar that actually buttoned onto the collar. it was gone. So I had to obviously note that, take pictures of the buttons, and make sure that people knew that there was a piece missing to this cardigan. Nonetheless, it still sold for $30, and that was with promoted listings. And so after my cost of goods, which was $1.02, because I got it as part of that same local inventory buyout, and after all of eBay's fees, I made a profit of $20.61. Ralph Lauren is such a great bread and butter brand. It always performs so much better than I think it's going to. It's one of those brands that I think people sleep on all the time, but it does really well. So if you find it, and especially if it's made of really great natural materials like, cashmere and rabbit hair, Angora, wool, all that kind of stuff, it's definitely worth looking at. And if you can get it for cheap enough, probably worth picking up. The next thing to sell was this pair of Judy Blue skinny fit high-rise jeans. These were in a size 15, or if you go by waist, in a size 32. They sold for $35.99, which I think was my sales price. I think I had it priced originally at like $39.99. They were promoted at 3%. I had $6.99 into them from a local... Actually, I think that was from the Goodwill near my in-laws. And so my profit on those was $15.96. The next thing to sell, I was ecstatic when this sold because it literally is from the very first time that I went thrifting with the intention of reselling. Like when I first started reselling, I just started with stuff in my house. I actually talk about how that's exactly what you should do in this video right here. Things that I wish I knew when I first started reselling. In that video, I talk about how you really should start in your own house. Start with things that you're not investing new money into, but it's just stuff that's taking up space and collecting dust in your house anyway. So when I had gone through all of the stuff in my own house, I started going to Salvation Army and Goodwill, and this came from my very first trip to the Salvation Army, where I was like trying to find stuff to resell online. And I didn't know at the time that Apostrophe is a very low-end brand, doesn't have a lot of resale value to it at all. I just thought this was kind of cute. It was this Apostrophe black sequined, beaded, embellished button-up cardigan in a size small. I also didn't know back then that I should have systems in place, like knowing how to track how much things cost, but so I'm guessing here. I'm going to guess I spent like $3.99 on this. I think that's probably around how much it was for tops. And so this sold for $8.99 after my supposed cost of goods and eBay's fees. Y'all, I made $1.69 off of that. And I'm really proud of that $1.69 because it shows how much I have come as a reseller, how much I've learned. And that's really the only way to do this. I mean, I get the question all the time from people, how can I get to your level? Not that I'm like on a really high level or anything, but people are like, how did you learn how to do all this? Where can I go for all this information? Is there like a guide? The way to do it is to just do it and make mistakes and make some bad buys and learn the hard way what happens if you don't look up comps. You just got to do it. You learn through trial and error. You learn through watching videos like this. You learn from experience and from allowing yourself to make mistakes. And that's exactly what this sale is reminding me and is teaching me, is that through putting myself out there, through making mistakes, through just allowing myself to grow, I'm here now, sharing my information with you. I have a ways to go. I have a bajillion more mistakes to make, but man, that's just really exciting to see that sale and to finally get rid of it. Like, it's just nice to not have that in my home anymore. The next sale was a soft surroundings top that we're not going to talk about because the buyer returned it. So these last 2 weeks had about 3 eBay returns, and I feel like they always come in groups of 3s. I know a lot of you don't want to sell on eBay because you're so scared of scammers and you're so scared of returns and stuff. Really, returns are such a small part of my business, but when they happen in groups of 3. And then they don't happen for like months and months and months. You don't get any returns, and then you get 3 at once, and that's just how it goes. It's a part of, being on eBay, and I'm really okay with it. It's fine. Sometimes people get stuff. It's not what they thought it was going to be. I take it back and I sell it to someone who will actually love it. But then over on Mercari, I sold this Polo Ralph Lauren purple t-shirt for a youth size 2 T, which is toddler. This is something that my son wore. I listed it a while ago and it finally sold for $8. So I made a profit of $6.67. The next thing to sell was this pair of new with tags, Choco Brown Low-Down Flip-Flop Sandals in a size 7 for men. These I picked up at a local thrift store for $3.99. Can you believe they had them priced so low? And so I was able to flip them for $30, giving me a profit of $21.84. They were listed for quite some time, like at least I'd say 4 to 5 months, but I did list them in the winter, so I'm not surprised that they just sold, towards the beginning of March as people are getting ready for the spring and summer, and as people are getting ready for trips and things like that. That made sense to me. I had a Kitizen sale. Kitizen sales, they get once like every month or two, but this was a pair of Skechers Active Purple Polka Dot Line shorts in a size 5. These were something that my daughter wore, so I sold them for $10. I did pay for shipping, which was $4.15. I made a profit of $4.65, which I am totally okay with. It feels really good to sell my kids' clothes and give them new life, and to also give someone else's kids clothes at a fraction of the cost of what they'd have to pay, retail. And then moving on to Friday, which is March 11th. On Poshmark, I continued to have some decent sales because of the fact that I had sent out so many offers the day before. The first thing to sell was this pair of vintage LL Bean relaxed fit blue jeans in a size 35 by 30. These sold for $30, again with discounted shipping of $1.72 off. Thank you, Posher VA. I had $5.06 into those, and actually that day at that consignment store, I remember there being a ton of vintage jeans, and some of them were flannel lined. There were, some LL Bean, there was some Levi's, there was some Eddie Bauer, so I got it all, and my average cost of goods that day, like I said, was $5.06. My profit from those jeans was $17.22. The next sale was this pair of new with tags American Eagle high-rise shorty distressed denim shorts, and they were cuffed and they were in a size 18, which is why I was especially intrigued by them, because I know American Eagle does carry plus sizes, but I don't feel like they carry a lot of it. These sold for $25 using my closet clear out method, and I do have a video about that I will link right here and down in the description below. I had $2.89 into those. I got them last summer at a garage sale, and that was my average cost of goods for garage sailing that day. So my profit on those shorts was $17.11. The next thing to sell was another super old item, like something that I've had for 3 years at this point, and it was this Torrid Paisley Ruffle Crochet Baby Doll tank in a size medium. Like I said, I've been talking about a lot of Torrid in this week's sales, and while I will continue to pick up Torrid jeans, even though I tend to sit on them a little longer than I'd like to, and Torrid dresses seem to do really well for me, Torrid tops take forever for me to sell, especially tank top type situations. So I will no longer be picking up any sort of Torrid tank top or even like t-shirt or, things like that, because they take forever to move. Like this example, I've had this for 3 years. This was in a size medium. That also didn't help. Their 00 size, Torrid uses vanity sizing. So 00 I think means medium. That's a hard sell of a size for Torrid. But this finally sold for $11. I had $1 into it, I remember, from a thrift store that doesn't even exist anymore, but they had a fill a bag sale that Saturday when I got these. So yeah, I think I had $1 into this. So I made a profit of $5.33 after 3 years. That comes down to like so little per day that I had to hold on to this item. That's okay. It is what it is. The next thing that sold was, it was a shirt. It was a Nike dry fit black long sleeve athletic shirt in a men's size 3XL. This sold for $15. I got it as part of that local reseller buyout, and so I had $1.02 into this, and I made a profit of $10.98. These kind of like Nike athletic workout shirts, these are like the definition of bread and butter. And what I mean by that is you can find these super easily and they will sell super consistently and pretty quickly. You're just not going to make a ton on them. You'll make $10 here, $15 here, sometimes even less than $10, but it all adds up. And once you get good at knowing what you have and how to list them, it's a pretty quick process, so it's easy to replicate. It's just not super exciting, just like bread and butter isn't necessarily super exciting, except that I really like bread and butter. I love bread and butter at restaurants. So there you go. The next thing to sell was this pair of Savon, don't know how to say it, olive green cargo shorts in a men's size 42. I got these from the same reseller, inventory buyout. They sold for $12. I made a profit of $8.03. Over on eBay, I sold this lot of 3 Maxell Professional Industrial Communicate Series C90 blank cassettes. They were packages of 10 blank cassette tapes that I picked up from somewhere. I don't remember where. They sold for $67.47. They have been listed for quite some time. Like I want to say half a year or so, maybe even longer. I think longer actually. And they were promoted at 3%. However, a couple of things went wrong with this sale. One, I thought I'd be able to ship these out media mail because they are like media items. They're cassette tapes. But I wasn't allowed to ship them out media mail. So I don't know if it's because it's not actual there's no content on there. So as a result, they're not considered media. Like it's not like a record or it's not like a cassette tape of someone's music, but they're blank. I don't know if that's why, but I had put in the amount for shipping, assuming it would be really low because I thought I'd be able to ship it out media mail. So I ended up paying a lot more for shipping because these were big and there were 3 of them and they were heavy. So yeah, I paid, out of pocket like at least $10 for shipping. And then when the buyer received the items, he said, "You sent me 2 of the things that you said you would, but the third thing is not the C90 blank cassettes. There's something else," which, I mean, I didn't even ask for proof. I didn't ask for pictures and stuff. I guess he could have been lying, but honestly, like that's on brand for me. Like I didn't check. I didn't know. I mean, those were the only 3 that I had, but I didn't check all 3 to see if they were all the same thing. I just kind of assumed that they were. So I was like, "I'm so sorry. Can I send you a partial refund of a third of what you paid me?" And he was like, "Yeah, that's fine." So that's what we did. So I ended up making a profit of $19.99 on those items, which is a lot less than the $67.47. That was my gross sale amount. But when you make a mistake, you gotta do what you can to do right by the buyer. Like I do believe I just got those for free from someone anyway, so it's not like I had a ton of money into them, but lesson learned, just be really careful when you're lotting stuff up to make sure that everything is the same or that everything is what you're saying that it is. And then over on Mercari, I sold the North Face Osito white fleece full zip jacket in a size small. This did have a few marks on it, as is expected of, white clothing, but it still sold for $28. I had $2 into it because it was part of a bulk mixed clothing box from ThredUp. It was like 100 pounds of clothing, I want to say. And so after Mercari fees and my cost of goods, I made a profit of $22.09. On Facebook Marketplace, I sold this Polo US ASSN, which is that association? I'm not even sure. Polo shirt. It was red with like a big stripe across the middle. I picked this up at a Goodwill near my in-laws because it just felt very like Y2K to me, But then I realized this particular like Polo US ASSN brand is not good for resale. I just like the look of it, so I picked it up for $5.99. It still miraculously sold for me for $16.20 on Facebook Marketplace. So I did still make a profit of $9.16, which I was very thankful for because I didn't think I was going to once I checked comps once I got home. I was like, oh my gosh, like this was a bad buy. Why did I get this? But I got lucky. On Saturday, which was March 12th, on Poshmark, I sold this vintage Cleo. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it was this Disney yellow Aristocats top, and it was so cute. Like, it was darling. It was for little babies that are 12 to 18 month olds. It sold for $20. I had $1.50 into it because it was part of an inventory buyout that I did of my friend's stuff before she moved out of state. And, I got all of her stuff for so cheap. She didn't let me pay her very much for everything. So I made a profit of $14.50. And that was after fending off a lot of lowball offers. Like, people wanted this thing for dirt cheap. And I was like, no, this is so cute. You're going to give me a lot of money for this. And finally someone did. The next thing to sell was this Chico's Traveler's square neck sleeveless top in a size 12. This sold for $17. It was part of the local reseller inventory buyout, so I had $1.02 into it, and I made a profit of $12.58. Chico's Travelers can do well, but this is a very basic, just sleeveless top. It probably had like a cardigan that was part of a set with it, and I only had the shell. So, being able to sell it for $17, that was actually pretty impressive. And then over on eBay, I sold another pair of Judy Blue button fly skinny fit high rise distressed jeans. Again, they were in a size 15 or 32 waist. Judy Blue is actually a brand that I heard about on Amber Resells' YouTube channel. She did a really great video about like the top 10 denim brands sold on Poshmark, and this brand made that list. I had never picked up the brand before, and then I feel like I just started seeing it everywhere after I watched her video, and I picked it up because she said it, was a really great brand, and she was right. I have consistently sold it for $30, $35 or more, sometimes as high as $40 or $50. These sold for $35. I had $6.99 into them from a Goodwill near my in-laws, and so I made a profit on those jeans of $22.53. Would love to see it. And then I sold another Chico's piece on eBay. This was an ivory polka dot lightweight sheer tunic dress. This was in a Chico size 1. It sold for $19.99. I had $2.92 into it. I think I got it at a local consignment store. I don't even remember. Where did I get that? I think it was a local consignment store. But I made a profit of $12.26. The next thing to sell was this new with tags Beta brand red peplum cap sleeve v-neck top in a size 2XL. This sold for $29.90 on eBay. That was an offer that I sent out to watchers. And so after my cost of goods, which was $2.50, I got this at a local consignment store during a sidewalk sale. I made a profit of $23.08. Beta brand is a great brand. It is very comfortable work clothes, clothes that you would wear to the office, but it has fabric that is usually used in like yoga clothes, so they have like these yoga pants, for example. That's one of the things that they're known most for are these yoga pants, but they look like trousers, like work pants. And so, you get to look professional, but be super comfortable while at work. I have had really good experience selling their bottoms and even their dresses. This was my first time trying out a top of theirs, and it did okay. I mean, like I said, it sold for $30, but it did take quite some time to sell, like at least 4 or 5 months. So I don't know if I would pick up their tops again. I think if it were new with tags like this one was, I would, especially if the price was right. But generally speaking, the tops seem to do a lot worse than the bottoms. The next day that we'll talk about is Sunday, which is March 13th. And on Poshmark, the first thing to sell was this ASTR or Aster. Again, I don't know how to say the names of like all of the things I sold this week, but it was this lightweight printed open front jacket in a size small. This sold for $12. I was so happy to get this thing sold because I got it at one of my very first pop-up consignment sales that I went to, and I think I probably paid around $4 for this. I remember I only went that year on half off day, and I was so excited to find this. I thought this was a really good brand, but I got it home. There was no size tag. I just had to kind of, guesstimate what size it was based off of measurements, and no one wanted it. No one wanted this piece, but it finally sold for $12. I made a profit of $5.05. I don't pick up this brand anymore. I have never had good luck with it. I know some people still get kind of excited by it, and I don't know why. I don't get it. So yeah. The next thing to sell was this pair of Columbia nylon khaki belted cargo shorts in a men's size extra large. That was part of the local reseller buyout. I had $1.02 into them. They sold for $15. I made a profit of $10.98. I do think if you have these kind of outdoorsy pieces for hiking and camping by brands like Columbia and the North Face and Patagonia, this is when you should be listing those items because people are so excited about being able to go outside and hike and do all those outdoorsy things, and they're they're stocking up on clothes to wear to do those things. The next thing to sell was over on eBay, and it was this new with tags Onitsuka Tiger Black Silver Metallic Graphic T-shirt in a men's size large. I got this in a men's thread-up rescue box. It was the most recent one that I did, and so I had $3.79 into it. That was my average cost of goods for everything in that box. It sold for $15, and that was promoted at 3%, and so I made a profit of $9.19 on this shirt, and it was only listed for maybe a handful of days. Like, it wasn't even listed for a week, so that was a nice quick flip. The next thing to sell was this Cabby Priority Top Floral Sleeveless Draped Collared Popover shirt in a size medium. That one sold for $21.90. That was an offer that I sent out to watchers. It was promoted at 3%. I had $3.92 into it because it was something that I got in a wholesale pallet that I just purchased and finished hauling on my YouTube channel. You can check that out, if you look through my last few videos. So my average cost of goods for all the sellable items from that huge pallet was $3.92. So I made a profit on this top of $14.18. And that also sold really quickly. It probably sold within a week of being listed. The next thing to sell was this pink Victoria's Secret white wear everywhere multi-way push-up bra in a size 32B. This is something that I purchased from a friend of mine. She had a bunch of stuff and was like, do you want any of this to resell? And we kind of worked it out where I would kind of estimate like how much I thought something would sell for and what my profit would be, and I gave her half of that. I think I probably gave her about $5 for this. It sold for $14.39. It was promoted at 3%. I made a profit of $4.37. I have had this forever. It's a little bit smaller of a size, and I've noticed that smaller bra sizes have a hard time moving. So, good to know. I don't know if you've experienced the same thing, but I definitely don't pick up smaller bras at thrift stores. The next and last thing to sell was my third return of the week. Wow, I had 3 returns in 1 week, and this was also a soft surroundings piece. It was this pair of purple flare corduroy pants. It was so sad, but the person got them. They didn't fit her. She was like, do you by any chance have the same exact pair of pants in a smaller size? And I was like, no, because I am not soft surroundings. Like, I have actually 2 other pairs in different colors, but they are the same size as these that are too big on you. So nope, can't help you. So for the week, let's talk quickly about my numbers before we jump into the next week of sales. But on Poshmark, I sold 17 items for a net profit of $204.76. On eBay, I sold 10 items for a net profit of $147.09. On Mercari, I sold a total of 6 items for a net profit of $88.68. On Facebook Marketplace, I had 1 sale and made $9.16. And on Kitizen, I sold 1 item for a net profit of $4.65. So in total, I sold 35 items for a net profit of $454.34. That is almost half of my goal. My weekly goal is, I think it's like $833 or something like that. We were quite a ways away from it. And if you noticed, the majority of what I sold was bread and butter. And that is because the majority of what I sold was stuff that I received in inventory buyouts. And the majority of what I received in those inventory buyouts were bread and butter pieces, which I am happy to list. I'm happy to sell, but they are not the items that are selling for big money, which means I have to sell more to make my goals. And it's not like I was listing more, so I'm kind of selling the same amount of stuff that I normally do, but those items are lower priced items, which is why I'm making less money. So, I'm getting through the pieces, and it works out in a sense because I just don't even have time right now to go out and source. I don't have time to go out and find good pieces because I'm so busy at school and just busy with my kids and living my life. So I'm happy with the sales that I had, but let's go ahead and jump into the next week of sales that we're going to talk about in this video. I am literally in my PJs right now editing this video, and if I were to put the 2 weeks together, this video would be over an hour long. So I'm going to split them up. So I will end on that note today of This was kind of a rough week, but thankfully the next week of sales that we're going to talk about were a little bit better because of this new platform that I still haven't really talked very much about yet, but I promise I will in that next video. So if you haven't already, make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss that upcoming What Sold video, plus a ton of other really great videos coming your way as well. So as always, thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me. I really, really appreciate all of you because I know there are a lot of things you could be doing with your time. So that is it for today. Part 2 will be coming up later this week, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!